This discussion is a response to a question frequently posed by students: how to prevent oneself from falling asleep, from even dozing off while studying. This problem mostly arises during nighttime study. This is a problem I have faced myself as a student, and which I face even today when I work far into the night. How to hold sleep at bay while studying. To hold at bay is a beautiful English expression which means to prevent something or somebody from coming close to you, from reaching you, from affecting you in an adverse manner. The police arrived at the villa of the mafia don with an arrest warrant, but they could not enter the compound. They were held at bay by ferocious dogs. So the question before us today is how to hold sleep at bay while studying. The first point is motivate yourself. To motivate means to make someone do something, to cause someone to do something. In this case, that someone is yourself. Unless and until you have sufficient motivation, you cannot achieve anything in your life. If I have done anything in my life, if I have achieved anything, of it is because of the very high level of motivation I had right from school. Motivation is a vast subject. We shall be discussing it in detail later. For now, I would like to say just one thing. The first condition to be fulfilled in order to keep sleep at bay while studying is to motivate yourself. The second point is ensure you are not physically exhausted. During the hours preceding your study session, you should not take part in any strenuous physical activity. For example, if you return home after participating in a boxing match, well, it will be very difficult for you to keep sleep at bay while studying that night. You must make sure that you have not involved yourself in any tiring physical activity during the preceding day. Avoid a heavy dinner. If you take a heavy dinner, your blood rushes away from your brain towards your belly in order to grapple with the food that you have eaten. In fact, there is no better stimulus to sleep than a heavy dinner. So, before your study session starts, Take a light dinner, a dinner which will not stimulate the tendencies of sleep in you. Take a cold shower. This is a beautiful point, the fourth point. I always do that before a night study session or a night work session. A cold shower refreshes you and triggers the hormone called dopamine associated with memory, pleasure, intellectual work. This is perhaps the best advice that I can give you on how to avoid dozing off during a night study session. But if you are someone prone to cold, prone to fever, please don't take a cold shower and then tell me that you fell sick because you followed my advice. The fifth point is use a well lighted room. Sleep is associated with night, with darkness. And in order to ward off sleep, you must try to create the illusion of day. A dark room is an invitation to the body, to the mind, to go to sleep. So, you must make it a point to carry out your night study session in a well lighted room, a room which almost replicates the brightness of day. Sit preferably at your desk. This is point number 6. Of course, you can very well study lying down or lolling, but during a night study session, it would be nothing short of an invitation to disaster. So you must make it a point to sit preferably at your desk. Let your body, let your mind understand that you are serious about your intentions. You are serious about your intentions and that you intend to study, not to sleep. Point number 7. Take short breaks. Every 1 hour, I take a 5-minute break and go for a walk in the compound. This is essential to prevent yourself from being overpowered by sleep. You could stop your work and go for a walk, or you could do a skipping session, or you could do some physical exercises. It all depends on you, it's your choice. But make it a point to take frequent short breaks, preferably one break after a 1 hour study session. Point number 8. Avoid dehydration. You should drink water at regular intervals. I sometimes drink tea, but I would not advise you to drink too much tea or too much coffee. You should get addicted to studies. You should get addicted to work, not to tea or to coffee. I don't think that you should have a glass of water in front of you on your desk. Instead, have it in the next room. Position the water, position the glass of water in the next room or in the refrigerator if you like cold water, so that you are compelled to walk a few steps in order to drink the water. You prevent dehydration by drinking the water, and also you give yourself some physical activity by walking a few steps, by walking to the next room. Make it a point to prevent dehydration because dehydration can make you very sleepy. Rinse your face at intervals. This is the magic point. Point number 9. Nothing can succeed in driving sleep away as rinsing your face with cold water. I do it every time I have to go through a night work session or a night study session. Maybe once in 2 hours, you should go to the wash basin and rinse your face with cold water. Sleep is sure to flee from you. Have a midway meal. That's a lovely point. Point number 10. You should split your night study session into two roughly equal parts. And at the end of the first part, that is midway in your night study session, you should have a meal. But ensure that the meal is not an unhealthy one. A healthy meal, roughly at the middle of the night study session, is a fantastic antidote to sleep. The 11th point is avoid monotony if it is monotony. I have never ever felt my work, my studies, to be monotonous. If you really love your subject, if you have a passion for your work, it will never ever be monotonous. But if you feel that what you do can become monotonous, because it is not everyone who can develop an insane passion for the work that person is doing. If you feel that it has the potential to become monotonous, schedule your schedule your session in such a way that you do not work on the same area throughout the session. Schedule your session in such a way that you have to study different subjects, not merely different areas, not merely different subjects, not merely different topics, but also different kinds of areas and different kinds of topics, different kinds of subjects, so that it does not become monotonous. Go to bed before sunrise. This is the 12th point, the penultimate point. There is always a temptation to continue remaining awake into the next day. That's dangerous because one marathon night study session is not going to take you anywhere. What is required is regular work, systematic work, organized work, and this demands adequate sleep. So you should make it a point to go to bed before sunrise and have a spell, enjoy a spell of deep sleep. Ensure adequate sleep in the long run. This is point number 13, the last point. All of us have the temptation to deny ourselves sufficient sleep in order to work harder. This can be extremely dangerous in the long run. Nothing can be attained by starving your body of sleep, of the required sleep in the long run. You should ensure that your body gets sufficient sleep every 24 hours. It may be 7 hours, it may be 6 hours, or it may be 5 hours. I think I need only 5 hours of sleep, between 4 and 5. Whatever it be, your body and also your mind requires a minimum quantum of sleep every 24 hours. And you should not deny yourself the same. Make sure that you sleep deeply and soundly for the minimum quantum of time, for the minimum required quantum of time every 24 hours. Ensure that you get adequate sleep in the long run. I have given you 13 points, a baker's dozen. And if you follow these 13 tips, you can certainly hold sleep at bay while studying.